Hello and welcome to the 2020 Toyota U.S. Figure Skating Championships. We're in Greensboro, North Carolina, inside the Greensboro Coliseum complex. We are at the ice decks, and we are right outside the main entrance, outside the plaza, and I am here with my group of figure skating champions, Mariah Nagasu, Brooke Castile, and Ben Augusto. Thank you guys for joining us. We just watched a fantastic pairs short program, and the ladies will be coming up soon. Brooke, what were your thoughts on the short program of the pairs event?
I thought it was a good event. I'm really excited that Knierim's skated clean. It's been a while since we've seen a clean skate from them, and you could just tell by the excitement when they finished that it was a relief and a great jumping start for this competition. They're way ahead of everyone else, and that's always a really comfortable spot to be going into long.
Yes, they're in the lead after the short program comfortably. They skated, as we mentioned, I think before the competition, that they were the two-time national champions, and they struggled a lot last year, had some coaching changes, and now to skate a program like that, they are the most well-balanced team here at the competition, and so to see them perform was a great relief, and hopefully they can carry that momentum into the free skate. But up next are the ladies, and we have Mariah Nagasu, who's obviously a lady. She's a little biased as to what her favorite discipline is here in the competition. But Alyssa Liu, who is the defending national champion, she's got triple axels planned, quad lutzes planned in the free skate. But in the short program, Mariah Bell will be skating for the lead after the short. Gracie Gold is making her return. Brady Tennell, also a national champion, will be competing as well. What are you looking for most in the ladies short program, Mariah?
I don't think Alyssa can do her quad in the short, which is unfortunate,
yes.
But it gives us a little bit more of a level playing field, and I'm really rooting for Brady. She made it to the Grand Prix final. That is a huge feat. I have never made it to the final, so kudos to her. So I hope that she pulls together a strong performance because I want to see some really strong skating, and she is a strong competitor. And then Mariah Bell skating to Britney Spears. What a great song choice, right? I mean, everybody could use a little Britney in their lives.
Channeling her inner Adam, Rippon.
Right.
Right.
He choreographed Mariah's short program. Yeah. Welcome everyone to the Ice Desk in venue. We're now in venue now. We spoke a little bit about Alyssa defending her national title, and Ben, I know you defended yours many times, 5 times I think it was. What is it that are the challenges of being, a defending champion as opposed to a young up-and-coming, no-pressure champion?
Well, everybody puts so much effort into winning their first championship. It's like the goal at the end of the tunnel and the top of the mountain, it feels like it. So you work so hard to get there. And then once you win, it's like, yes, I made it. And then you realize that now you have to keep performing, you have to keep doing better than before. And it always seems to be harder when the target's on your back because now everybody below is really trying to dethrone you and come after you. So I think it's hard to find the motivation because when you are trying to climb and you're behind, it's very motivating to have that target. And so then it has to come from inside and you have to keep pushing yourself to do better than yourself.
Yeah, finding a different motivation is really difficult.
Right.
You have to be motivated by things that aren't quite as obvious as just a gold medal or a championship win, and I think that's where a lot of skaters struggle, is trying to figure out what motivation will push them forward the same way.
I agree, and speaking of motivation too, I mean, you have Alyssa Liu defending her champion, but somebody in these ladies' events, Brady Tennell is a national champion, Alyssa Liu is a national champion, Gracie Gold coming back is a national champion. Somebody who is not a national champion yet is Mariah Bell, and she has been probably the most consistent of this Grand Prix season, winning 2 Grand Prix medals. So not being the champion, does that take a little bit of the pressure off for her, but also that drive and a little bit of that determination that you're talking about because she's not there yet. She's not been the champion.
But I think everybody else is also hungry because they've been there and they want to come back. Alyssa is having to defend, so she's in that position of coming in with all those expectations of the national champion. So everybody is a little bit of that underdog feel driving them.
And I think right now in ladies figure skating being the most exciting I think it's ever been in the history of at least myself watching skating. I think that they're all hungry and they're all very driven to keep up with the international girls and what they're doing, all of these Russians, Korean, and Japanese girls. And I think that that's actually what's driving them just as much as trying to be on the top of the podium here. And I think it's great for our sport here in the U.S. for ladies, but and also for them to keep pushing. And I think that's where having Alyssa Liu at this competition,
Right.
even though she can't compete senior internationally, is great for the other girls to kind of push them the way they were being pushed.
I did a show with Brady over Christmas, and to watch her working on her triple axel, you know, the attempts in the falls is where it starts to happen. And I took many a fall, so I know that you have to try something new, regardless of what age you are. And so she might be able to get it. You never know. Like, I went into triple axels not knowing, but I mean,
You did it. You became the first one to do it. First American skater to do it in the Olympics, right?
so everybody should try something they've never done before. And so I wish that I, growing up, thought I could try a quad. It just never occurred to me that it was possible.
And we talk about the competition internationally, and this is just kind of preparing them for competing at the World Championships. And you know what the Russian girls are doing. They're doing quad lutzes. They're doing quad sows, quad toes. They're doing these elements. And the skater that can really compete with them technically, and her strength, Alyssa Liu, is not capable of having the ability to compete. She's not allowed to. She's too young. And it seems like a shame that she's just been competing at the Junior Grand Prix events, where she ended up, skating great and finishing second at the Junior Grand Prix final. But she's still really hungry and motivated. We talk about that all the time. But she's like, normally a national champion will kind of be a little laid back and be like, you know what, I'm the national champion. Maybe there's a little pressure on me, but I'm the champion. She still has that drive because she's like, I haven't even competed against these girls on the senior circuit yet. So I think that really kind of bodes in her favor this year and next year too, when she's still not allowed to compete internationally at the senior level.
And Mariah, I think your point about Brady making it to the Grand Prix final is huge because she's working on that triple axel. She hasn't put it in her programs yet. So for her to be able to get to that point internationally, competing against those Russians with the triple axels and the quads is really spectacular and speaks to her skating ability, her performance, and her focus. And while all the same time working on the triple axel, which has to be extremely taxing physically to be putting in that effort every day, putting in the falls that are just part of getting it. Can you talk to that a little bit?
Wait, one last aspect we haven't touched, Gracie Gold, making her comeback and making it back to the U.S. Championships and doing triples on these practices and
huge,
looking so solid. I think we're all really excited for this comeback that we've been waiting for. This is attempt number 2, and so she's had that one outing where we were ready for it, but I think now that she's taken the time to train and to get back into shape, she looks so good, and to see her return is great.
Well, we're excited. The short program begins in the ladies' event, and we will continue here on Facebook Live, and we'll also continue here on the YouTube U.S. Figure Skating channel. And if you guys in the venue are interested, come on and stop on by and say hi to us up at the main entrance. But for now, we'll take it to you in the venue, Rusty Kath. And as we continue, guys, on Facebook and the YouTube channel, let's dive in a little bit more into some of the ladies' event. I think, I talked a little bit in the pairs event about the game that I want to play about agree and disagree. And so I want to make another statement where it's like, I'll make a statement, you either agree or disagree. And remember, you can agree if you want, and, we'll allow you to do that. And if you disagree, you have to leave.
Perfect.
That was a joke. It's not actually true. Okay, so for the ladies' event, my statement here is Alyssa Liu should be allowed to compete internationally. Even though that she is too young based on the rules, I think those rules are made to try and protect the health of the athletes, to try and keep them from trying things that are too young, become injured when they get older, and it's to try and keep a little bit more maturity into the sport. But I believe the best skaters in the world, no matter what age, if they're 8 years old, if they're 75 years old, it doesn't matter. They should be the best, and they should be promoted, and they should be allowed to compete at the international scene. Agree or disagree?
Oh, I disagree.
Okay.
But I like the age rule because I want to see an experienced skater, and there's something to be said about skaters who can match their music, and when you don't have that life experience and you don't have the skating skills, all you see is jumps, and they're very exciting, but at the same time I want the skater to relate the story to me, and that's why the best skaters have the ability to skate to the Romeo and Juliets. Otherwise it's just an overplayed song choice.
I was very quickly going to agree, but you convinced me a little bit otherwise.
Look at the politician Mirai swaying votes.
I do agree. Because I think that you should be able to, if you are at your peak, no matter when it is, you should be able to compete. If you would have asked me more while I was skating as an athlete, I would have disagreed.
What was your song choice for the Olympic season?
Claire de Lune, actually.
Exactly. You choose a
Yes.
classic that you know
I
is...
would much rather watch someone who is musical and has good components. I'm about GOE and quality 100%. That is what I prefer as a skater, as a coach, as an analyst. But as these Russian girls and people like Nathan Chen are pushing the sport so far, I'm starting to change my tune a little bit. And watching these Russian girls and watching them live at Skate America, it was thrilling. I actually think Alyssa, am I going too far into this? Or
no,
can I keep...
no, here is Alyssa Lewis. Here's her triple axel in practice.
The thing about Alyssa, though, is like, okay, she's doing triple axel, double toe, quad lutz, triple axel. That's her opening of her long. And it's just kind of like shrug emoji.
Jeez, wow.
Okay. Right? Because now we're used to all of these Russian girls doing all of these triple axels and quads. And I just think that there lacks passion with Alyssa and excitement that the Russian girls don't have, even though she's doing a hard, and that's my point, is that you can do both. You can have the passion and you can have fire and be doing these really crazy hard technical elements. Shusova doesn't do any choreography, but skates to Game of Thrones pretending she's like on a dragon burning a city down. And it's unbelievable, doing 5 quads, even though she doesn't do an ounce of choreography. And normally I wouldn't like that. But there's something about having like this passion and drive that can still push it forward. Whereas I think Alyssa, the problem is she lacks a little bit of that. Okay. It's a little bit nice and on the surface, even though I should be like so excited she's doing a quad.
What would change if she was competing senior versus junior?
Well, she's competing senior here.
I mean, internationally.
She wouldn't, I don't think she would hold up to those girls as well because she's lacking that.
So then is it better that she stays junior?
Oh, no, I still think you should be allowed to skate senior.
I feel like you shouldn't put any cage or limiting on anybody.
No, and I don't think
That's
it's
my
fair
opinion.
that you can't do a quad in short.
I absolutely
I think
agree
that
with
is
that.
so limiting and like outdated.
Yeah.
You should be able to do whatever you want.
Agreed. That's another great one. Which
Yes.
brings me to my next one. I'm going to do one more, okay? This is a
Ben
statement.
never got to answer. I totally like took
It's okay.
that whole
I really
thing.
think he
Okay.
doesn't have anything good to say. I'm kidding. Go ahead. What is your thoughts on this, Ben Augusto?
I plead the fifth.
Okay.
Yeah, no, seriously.
All right. Okay, good. Okay, so
Moving on.
another statement. Here's my next statement. Gracie Gold will be in the top 3 after the short program. And the reason is, I watched practice the other day. I saw triple lutz, triple toe combinations that were better than when I saw her perform years ago when she was at the top and she was a 2-time national champion. I'm not quite sure about her stamina and getting through the free skate, but in the short program, I think she's in the top 3 after the short program. Agree or disagree?
I'm Team Gracie, so of course I'm going to agree. Also, she has the experience. She's an Olympic medalist, and she also won the World Short Program. She came very close to getting her world medal, and so she's on her comeback road, and look at her. She knows how to skate. Look at the quality of those edges. This is the comeback that we've been waiting for, and absolutely.
And what
I mean,
a great
she,
story, too.
yes,
What a
she's
great
a
story.
champion. She's a national champion. This is a walk in the park for her.
I disagree. I
Okay.
don't think she'll be in the top 3.
Okay.
I think the other girls are just so strong. I think the top 3 girls, Mariah, Brady, and Alyssa, had really strong seasons and the hardest ladies has ever been internationally. They held their own. They medaled at Grand Prix. And I don't think that Gracie has
Gracie also
quite
knows
enough.
how to skate.
I know,
though,
but right
and she'll
now,
touch all of our hearts.
I don't think she is quite there with them.
Okay.
And
I
you
would
know,
agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong. That was a little joke there.
I'm going to disagree. I think she will be out of the top 3, but I also don't think it matters because I don't think that's
not
the
why she's
purpose of her
skating,
being
yeah.
here. I think she's doing this for herself. I think it's beautiful, it's inspiring, and I can't wait to see how she
Yeah,
skates.
I'm really excited to watch her skate. I just don't think, I think the top 3 are.
It's anyone's
Okay.
game, though, at this point, so there's always that possibility.
I got you. Okay, which brings us to Brady Tennell. We
I have a
haven't talked
question
much
for you,
about her.
actually.
Go for it.
Do you think mentally, what is it like to have a comeback like that? Do you think physically she looks, she's in shape and she's pushed herself, but
I think, as Ben said, your goals end up changing. I don't think I don't know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, that her goal, obviously she wants to skate great and wants to skate her best. Maybe her goal is a medal, maybe it isn't. But I think it's, watching the whole process with her has been enjoyable for me, because I felt like so much towards the end of her first career, let's call this Gracie part 2, her first part of her career, she was not skating for herself. I felt like she was skating for somebody else and doing it because she had to, and she felt like that was the expectation. Now I feel she's back out here because she wants to be out here. And your expectations change at that point, and now your level of what it is that makes this a successful competition change. What was successful before is different from now. But I think watching her practice in the short program, watching her practice the other day, just made me feel really good. She'd been through a whole bunch emotionally, really has found herself and skating for herself, and that was enjoyable for me to watch.
Well, and it's just great to see skating means something different to everyone, and that's what's nice about, you have someone who's 14 doing quads versus someone who's coming back after all these, an Olympic medal and 2 national championship titles, skating for completely different reasons, and I think that's one of the great things about skating that we get to see at this event.
And kind of bookending the competitive experience of having that youthful exuberance and that kind of pure joy that we all start with, and then it's really hard, and you go through this process that is so difficult, and it's very easy to lose the sight of that joy, and then to see somebody find that and rekindle that is really beautiful, and it's nice to see those two in the same event.
And then changing focus to Brady Tennell, she had dealt with an injury early on in this Grand Prix season, and we thought it was going to be a little bit rocky at Skate America, but it wasn't. She's been consistent this entire Grand Prix season, made it to the Grand Prix final, skated very well there at the Grand Prix final, finished 5th there. So this title, we said what it meant to Gracie. What does this mean to Brady?
I mean, I think Brady.
Just agree.
Agree.
No, wait, that wasn't the same question.
I mean, I've been on many desks just like going on and on about Brady and how I just think like her work ethic is unlike anyone else I've seen, and I don't think anything gets to her. So I think for her, she thinks about what she needs to do and does her job, and is, no matter whether she's at the top or trying to fight her way back to the top, she's driven. It doesn't matter. She's self-motivated. No medal or anything. It's just, how many points can I get? How good can I be? How much can I push myself to my limits? And that's why I love watching Brady skate, because you can see it every second of every program, every practice, every spin, every jump. And I think that this season, for her to be on the top and at the Grand Prix was, I mean, we didn't expect that at all. And I think she's just going to keep continuing on that path.
And look out when she gets the triple axel. That's going to be incredible.
And we have to also not forget about Karen Chen and also Amber Glenn, who have been skating pretty consistently this season. Karen Chen is really trying to balance schoolwork with, a number of our skaters are trying to balance school and skating at the same time, so that's been a challenge for her this season. But I did watch her practice a little bit earlier yesterday evening, and she is doing the triple combinations more consistently again. So, as we say, skating is a slippery sport. You never know. You always think you know what's going to happen, and then all of a sudden, some people come through and surprise you with performances, and all of a sudden, there's somebody atop the leaderboard that we weren't expecting. Which brings me to the scores. So we have the scores. We have a graphic for the scores that shows us what the high scores for the ladies were in the Grand Prix season this year. Brady Tennell had the highest one at Skate America with a 75.1. Alyssa Liu, a 71. Mariah, 70. And on down the list. And that also takes me to, okay, what do you guys think the high score is going to be for the winner after this short program? And when I say that, you don't have to predict who it's going to be. What's the score going to be? And not only that, remember, this is the national championships, the U.S. national championships, which means sometimes the scores can be inflated just a little bit.
Just a little.
Maybe they're just more realistic.
No. All right, that's true. Maybe more accurate.
Okay.
That's
right,
the
more
term I
accurate.
should have used.
I like that you tell us to remember after we've already written these down in permanent marker.
Good point.
We didn't plan ahead.
Okay, ready? This is going to be the winning score after the short program. 1, 2, 3.
1.
I say. All right, now show me. What do you guys got?
I did
Close.
81.72. Yeah, you like that number? Good.
But just in case this happens, I have this. Just in
you're
case
hedging your
I'm
bets.
hedging my bet.
Well, last year Brady scored 76. Last year, I think.
Yeah.
And so
now she thinks she's going to one-up it.
One
or
up,
someone's
1 point.
going to
'Cause
one-up
we
it.
know
Better, yeah.
She'll do her triple, and double axel, and then we know Alyssa will have the same program as at the Junior Grand Prix final. Which it's all relative. So the 77s, I think that's fair.
Yeah, and I think she'll get more accurately scored because there will be no negative bias against her.
All right, so the ladies' short program
That is such a dancer thing to say.
Hey, components matter. Components are very important.
Yes, they are. They are a very large, important part. So the ladies are on the ice right now preparing for the short program. And remember, right after the ladies' event, we will be back here at the ice desk to review the ladies' event. So enjoy the short program, and we will see you soon.
All right, yeah, nice work.
Tara, can you still hear me? I was saying my